There are many ways to fight a war, but truly bizarre tactics are rare. Now, we can add one more to the list. Recently, war broke out between Thailand and Cambodia. Casualties among regular troops alone have already exceeded 400, and more than 700,000 civilians from both countries have fled the combat zones, becoming refugees. For two relatively small countries, these numbers already indicate a war of considerable scale. The gap in national strength is simply too large. Without external intervention, Cambodia has virtually no chance of defeating Thailand. But the outcome of this war does not really depend on the military strength of the two sides, it depends on outside forces. This conflict has already drawn mediation and intervention from both China and the United States. As a result, the final outcome will largely hinge on the attitudes of these two powers. That is why seizing the moral and public opinion high ground has become critically important, arguably even more important than battlefield victories themselves. Thailand holds the advantage not only militarily, but also in moral positioning, because the banner it raises is not an attack on Cambodia as a country, but an attack on Cambodia's scam compounds, casinos, and illegal facilities such as organ trafficking centers. However, bullets and shells have no eyes. Once war begins, if civilians remain amid artillery fire, no one can guarantee their safety. If civilian casualties grow too large, Thailand would lose ground in the battle for moral legitimacy, and in eventual China-US-mediated negotiations, that would translate into worse terms. This time, Thailand enjoys favorable timing, geography, and momentum. It intends to seize this opportunity to resolve all historical disputes with Cambodia in one go. And it does not want to lose leverage over civilian casualty figures. Therefore, driving civilians out of the combat zones becomes especially important. Civilian casualties among Cambodians must be minimized, because the higher those numbers rise, the fewer benefits Thailand will ultimately secure. At the same time, Thailand has no intention of pushing deep into Cambodian territory. Although the clashes are intense, they are confined entirely to the border regions. The reason is simple: the disputed territory Thailand wants to control lies along the border. As for Cambodia's interior or the country as a whole, Thailand has no intention of occupying it. Even if it did, there would be no point. Under China-US mediation, it would inevitably be forced to return any occupied land at a much higher cost. One final point is crucial: Cambodian civilians must leave voluntarily. If they were forced out by Thai troops, Thailand would again lose moral ground, making the effort counterproductive. At present, most Cambodian residents in the combat zones have already left voluntarily, but there are always some who refuse to go. The Thai military cannot forcibly remove them and can only try to persuade them. And persuasion is completely ineffective for certain people. So Thailand faces a dilemma. It must fight nearby without causing civilian casualties. It cannot use violent forced evacuation, yet must reduce civilian casualty figures. And lowering civilian harm is nearly as important as winning battles on the ground. All of these factors must be considered simultaneously. And it is precisely this combination that led Thailand to make an extremely absurd yet strangely rational decision: deploy ultra-high-power loudspeakers along the Thai-Cambodian border and blast terrifying ghost-like screams throughout the night. This tactic was so outrageous that it shattered ordinary people's expectations of modern warfare. As a result, it became prime news material and was quickly reported by media outlets around the world. And honestly, if you listen to those ghostly screams alone at night, they really are frightening. But when such sounds are used as a battlefield tactic, the effect is almost comical and deeply absurd at the same time. Blasting ghost screams all night to scare Cambodian villagers cannot really be considered violent forced evacuation. Violent evacuation implies physical coercion, whereas ghost screams operate on a psychological level. Moreover, The loudspeakers were placed on Thai territory. From a legal standpoint, playing music on one's own land is hard to fault. This is a classic case of exploiting a loophole, and it works remarkably well. Villagers exposed to the screams cannot sleep at all. After several sleepless nights, they can only choose to leave. The results, frankly, are quite effective. That such a ruthless tactic first emerged in Thailand is not only because this war involves two small states under the watchful eyes of two superpowers, but also because of Thailand's deep-rooted horror culture. Thailand is famous for producing horror films. Concepts like vengeful spirits, curses, and karmic retribution were popularized through Thai cinema. When it comes to crafting terrifying sound effects, Thailand is highly professional. Thai horror films stand out not only in Asia, but globally. Their reputation is backed by data. From 2000 to 2020, as much as 23% of all films produced in Thailand were horror films, the highest proportion in the world. Among Asian horror films selected for international festivals such as Cannes and Berlin, Thai productions accounted for 37%. Thailand may be small, but in the horror genre, it is undeniably a heavyweight. And since both Thailand and Cambodia are Buddhist countries deeply religious and deeply fearful of spirits, the deterrent effect of all-night ghost screams on border villagers is naturally amplified. That is why someone in Thailand could even conceive of using ghost screams to solve a wartime dilemma. Most officers could think until their heads hurt and still never come up with such an idea. This has nothing to do with military competence, it has everything to do with cultural environment. So how effective was this tactic? After days of Thai artillery strikes, Cambodia merely sought US mediation and did not appeal to the United Nations. But once Thailand deployed the ghost scream tactic, Cambodia immediately took the issue to the UN. This was a genuine UN complaint. Cambodia followed formal legal procedures, officially accusing Thailand of using ghost screams to terrorize Cambodian civilians, and submitted extensive evidence to prove their existence. The situation itself is profoundly surreal. War wasn't reported to the UN, deaths weren't reported to the UN, but ghost screams were. Cambodia demanded that the UN immediately investigate the matter. Thailand responded quickly. Thai media claimed the action was not official, but the work of an extremist influencer. The Thai Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that an investigation would be launched, and if any human rights violations were found, the case would be reviewed again. A spokesperson for the Thai army said the sounds were simply Thai villagers expressing dissatisfaction through non-violent means. In short, Thai authorities collectively denied that the loudspeakers were officially deployed by the military. As for who actually installed them, it might have been extremist influencers, disgruntled villagers, or someone else entirely. But Thailand promised a thorough investigation and urged other countries to rest assured. Under the pressure of Cambodia's UN complaint, the ghost screams along the border have now ceased. After all, the authorities have publicly promised an investigation, although it is highly unlikely that anything conclusive will be found. Continuing the broadcasts would have been far too blatant. Still, this tactic is destined to leave its own legend in the history of warfare, to be recorded as a uniquely creative case study. To understand this conflict fully, it must be viewed in a broader context. China is Thailand's largest trading partner and its largest source of tourism revenue. Thailand has a limited industrial base and is a world-class tourism nation. Tourism's direct and indirect contribution accounts for about 40% of GDP, the lifeline of the tea economy. Roughly one-third of tourism revenue comes from Chinese tourists. Any development that significantly reduces Chinese arrivals is, in essence, a threat to Thailand's economic security. And Thailand's primary targets in this war are Cambodian scam compounds and casinos. This allows Thailand to claim moral legitimacy. while simultaneously striking at Cambodia's key sources of income, killing two birds with one stone. That is why, under the Thai embassy's Chinese social media accounts, Chinese netizens left comments like these and like these. Public opinion is here, China's national interests are here, and Thailand's stance becomes self-evident. Regarding Thailand's use of ghost screams to scare border villagers, Cambodia claims this violates human rights. But in my view, it actually shows the Thai military attempting to protect human rights. The Thai army holds the guns, forcibly driving civilians out of combat zones would be easy. Yet instead, they chose an indirect psychological method rather than violent expulsion. If that is not an attempt to protect human rights, what is? The tactic itself is undeniably bizarre, but the intention is restrained, even humane, and sound dissipates after a few kilometers, it becomes inaudible. In my opinion, there is nothing inherently wrong with this approach. Forcing it to stop might actually increase civilian casualties,